Hey, what's up? Talking Mike here. Let's talk about Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2. So, Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2 basically starts 30 years in the past. We see a professor, scientist, working on a project. We end up finding out that this project is essentially, for all intents and purposes, a precursor to Weapon X in the Ultimate Universe. They have some potential candidates. They don't really know. Some people have essentially died in the Weapon Alpha testing, and they found some particular test subjects, mutants to be exact, and one of them happens to be Wolverine, who happens to show up, the Maker himself, and he's like, we're not doing this. You're not good enough for this world. So what does the Maker do? He ends up killing the scientist and destroying everything that goes on with basically the Weapon X program, erasing all of the test stuff. We end up picking back up in Eurasia, I believe that's what it was called, or Europa. I don't remember what the made up country is in the Ultimate Universe. That Colossus and his sibling Magik and Omega Red run with the Iron Fist to be exact, and they're like, look, we need results with the Winter Soldier. We need like good results. And the professor's like, oh look, he's been on like 4 successful missions and stuff like that. We're getting results done. And they're like, no, this is not good enough. We're gonna kill him. Basically, we are going to kill him. And the professor's like, hey, let's see where things go. So they end up going to check out Winter Soldier, aka James Hallowitz, aka Wolverine, and they're like, look, he's obviously not a puppet. Things are going on in his head. We're getting brain activity and stuff like that when it comes to him sleeping and stuff. So obviously he's remembering stuff, remembering something. Let's see exactly what's going on with him. And Colossus is like, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna show our dominance. And he basically is like, the only good dog is a dog under my heel. You're going to obey me and whatnot. And they end up setting up this thing where he ends up going up against this group of Eurasia soldiers, which the soldiers don't know it at this time, but they end up figuring it out later on, where they're talking, they're doing this training, well, they think it's a training thing or whatever, training exercise or mission, what they're on. It's not really clear exactly what they're on, but they're talking about the Winter Soldier. And they're like, oh man, I hear he's the boogeyman, I hear he can heal, stuff like that, I hear he's bad news. They end up finding out at the last minute that they're actually test subjects for the Winter Soldier, aka Wolverine. And the government is basically watching them and what they're doing. They're also watching and studying Wolverine. And he ends up basically killing all these somewhat innocent people for this exercise, brings all their heads on his claws like a pike, kind of, throws them down, looks at the camera, destroys the camera, so he obviously knows something is going on. And they're like, perfect, this is what we want. And that's how the issue ends. So let's take a look at the interior artwork for Ultimate Wolverine. There is your creative team right there. And I have to say, the artwork for this issue still definitely hits it out of the park. It's very interesting. It was very shocking to see them actually sort of reference the Weapon X program in this, and we kind of, from what I'm gathering, potentially this might be a Ultimate Sabretooth right there. Who knows? Because it kind of does look like Sabretooth, but it was very interesting to see how the Maker is involved in this and whatnot. But like the artwork definitely sets the mood in this, and it very much, I feel like, continues like being just as good as issue 1 was, if possibly even better. I feel like the artist hits it out of the park. Definitely in these scenes where we actually get Wolverine stalking his prey and stuff like that. Like it's very, very well done. I don't really have any nitpicks with the artwork. I actually do like the artwork. Definitely has a dark, moody feel to it. Very serious. I feel like this book doesn't have a lot of levity, a lot of levity to it. But man, this scene was pretty powerful right here, where Colossus and Wolverine, not well, it's more like a one-sided thing, but yeah, this whole issue, beautiful. I love the snow scenes, like the way they set the mood for like all this, like for the soldiers going after Wolverine or trying to fight Wolverine. It definitely sets the mood tonally, I feel like. But this is definitely a very like sort of talking heads issue. I feel like, because there's a lot of action in this, unless you count how how Colossus deals with Wolverine. And we get this interesting stuff at the end where we have like these top secret files, and then we have like a little dossier, like computer entry. It's kind of hard to read from the professor who is in charge of the project for Wolverine himself. This issue is very interesting, I have to say. It definitely does keep the ball rolling in the story of Ultimate Wolverine going forward, with what exactly Colossus and them are wanting to do with this, and what his mission exactly is. We don't 100% really know, except they want him to kill off like a lot of the rogue mutants and stuff like that, which we'll be getting into, I feel like, in this next story arc. But what they definitely do build upon in this issue is like slowly building up Wolverine as a character. Now, we don't get a lot of Wolverine in this issue. We get a lot of him, like of the flashes of where he's hunting the the group of soldiers and stuff like that, and what he's doing in the like the incubation chamber and stuff like that. Obviously, we're getting glimpses of who Wolverine actually is moving forward. It's a slow build, I feel like, most definitely, but it's interesting to see what they actually are doing with this character. Seeing how Wolverine doesn't really speak in this and whatnot, it definitely still feels like I'm getting very much like Weapon X vibe from this, like Wolverine in the Weapon X project vibes still at this point. And I can see definitely at some point Wolverine coming to a head with conflict wise with Colossus, Magik, and Omega Red in this, and definitely breaking free and going off. Who knows? But this definitely does continue to lay the groundwork pretty successfully. I personally really feel. So you have like the connection with the professor who helps Wolverine out. You can tell she definitely treats him like a human, which he doesn't really get with Colossus, and how Colossus treats him in this issue. He very much treats him like a thing. He's very much like a doll almost, or a dog, I guess you could say. Like he very much is nothing. He's just a tool. And seeing eventually when Wolverine gets out of this control and what he can do and how this story is going to go moving forward is very interesting. In in all honesty, yeah. But not knowing a lot about the Ultimate Universe, this is my only glimpse into the Ultimate Universe. It's been a fun read so far. So this kind of has been off on its own, I feel like. And I very much am still enjoying this series so far. But let me know your thoughts down below. Comment down below. Are you picking this up? Are you reading it? Let me know. I'm going to talk to Mike, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.